And now for something completely different. Hey everybody, it's Digger Dave Beeler, sitting here in my kitchen at home, and been asking myself, do I really want to answer the question a lot of people have been asking me, what are some of the most interesting things you've dug, or what's some cool stuff you've dug, and some of your better bottles, and you know, that kind of question. I hear that quite a bit, and that's understandable. And I've been hesitant on showing a lot of things out of our own personal collection. Shelley and I have been collecting now for quite a few years, but anyhow, I decided to go ahead and start showing a few things. I don't even know where to start. That's why I haven't done it before, and I don't want to come across, like, we're showing off or anything like that. And so anyway, I hope everybody takes it well. We're not trying to do that. We're just wanting to share with you some of the things that God has blessed us with, and some of the stories I'll try to relate. So anyway, I thought, well, where better place to start than right here in our kitchen window. We've got some pretty bottles sitting here in our kitchen, so I'll just start right here. And we'll go from there. Well, it'd be a process of discovery, because there's boxes I honestly have not seen in probably 15 years or more. So we'll start here. Some really pretty colors I've always liked. I'm not very well organized. We'll just jump into it like we would one of our digging wrap-ups. So one of my favorite whiskey bottles is a cobalt blue Casper's whiskey, made by honest North Carolina people. Has embossed on it there. And you'll notice that some of the clear bottles that we've dug in our jug dump, exactly like this, with these unique panels with the little dots in them here. Of course, the ones we've dug are unembossed, but I keep hoping we'll dig a couple of these in our dump. But that's a real good bottle from North Carolina. And these are 3 bottles that are all the same. They're Hartwood Kantorowicz Bitters bottles, and they have a fish inside of a Star of David on them. You can see embossed on there, kind of a symbol of both Judaism and Christianity. And I've heard that this Hartwig Kantorowicz, who was a Jew, I think he was from Germany, but someplace over there, Europe, but he come up with a lot of different bottles. This one has an address on it there, Germany. And on the bottom again, it's got the Star of David with a fish in the middle of it. Now, these are really cool bottles. I just like them because of the colors. I've dug some really pretty colors on them, and sold most of the ones that I've dug in the past, but decided I'd hang on to a few of them there. But those are 3 different colors, kind of a puce color, and another different shade of puce, and just a plain amber. This was probably the last one I dug. I think in New Orleans these are all 3 dug. But they're cool bottles from probably 1890s, maybe 1880s. And a couple Udolpho Wolf's aromatic schnapps, and you'll probably be seeing a lot more of these in different places throughout the house. I've dug a lot of them over the years, primarily in New Orleans in the south, but we've dug them up north here too. I've dug some earliest ones in St. Louis, but they're just some different colors. This is a real pretty, sort of like an apricot color. You can't really see it very well, but it depends on the angles of the sun, as a lot of these bottles are like that. But it's just a real pretty bottle, I think. But I like the Udolpho Wolfs because of the color variations on them. And I had a video digging this one in New Orleans from a privy a few months ago. That's kind of an off color of green there. Real pretty bottles from the 1870s. This is one, I didn't dig this one, just picked this one up recently, but I kind of like it. It's a nice iron panel. You see on the bottom has the iron panel scar. And let me get it turned around here. It says J Steel and Premium Mineral Waters. I believe that is from Easton, Pennsylvania, but I could be wrong. Maybe somebody else out there knows better than I do, but that J Steel is the thing. I don't know, but you can see it's kind of a slugged out panel there. You see it on there where it had a couple nail heads been peened out over something else was struck out of the mold and that put in there. But real pretty 8-sided 1850s mineral water bottle, J. Steele, which I'm pretty sure is from Easton, Pennsylvania. That thing, something's sitting up there. Anyway, we got some of these little, they're not really witch balls, they're just pretty little hanging glass balls there. Shelley likes those, ruby red. They're hand blown little orbs, whatever you call them. We got them hanging up different places. There's our sign there, can't hardly see it. Wanted chief cook and bottle washer, low pay, long hours. So poor Shelley, she has to wash a lot of bottles. And another little group. This one, I don't know why I've got up here. I just picked it up a while back. I just thought it was cool. Shackleton's Improved Inhaler, and it's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it was kind of neat because it's got the actual inhaling device there. You see inside of it? I don't know if you can see that or not, but little glass tubes you put in your nose there, and that was a cool looking little inhaler. I've dug those before, but usually the apparatus is all shot and ain't very good any longer, so that one was in good shape, so I decided to keep that bottle. It had the little metal cap on it too, so that just makes it all the better. And one of my favorite bottles from the south is a Blount Springs Natural Sulfur Water. Real pretty cobalt blue bottle, and it's from Blount Springs, Alabama, which was about 30 miles north of Birmingham back in the 1860s, 1870s, 80s, and so on. It was a very popular resort throughout the South. They call it the Saratoga of the South. And this bottle comes in two sizes. This is a smaller size. The harder one to get is the larger one. I've got one of them someplace. I do not know where, but it's got a little unique applied ring collar on that. But these bottles date from probably the 1870s, early 1880s. And one that almost got my name on it there, Louis Beeler. Beeler. Sounds almost like Beeler, doesn't it? But this is a cool Hutch soda bottle from Philadelphia, and it's got the bottler there, or somebody pouring soda. I just thought it was really neat. Louis Beeler. It's got the address there from Philadelphia, and it's even got little twisting spiral pattern around the base. So interesting little bottle. I just liked it. Don't really collect them, but that one I had to have. I just thought it was neat with a little guy on there. And another early soda here is a Cobalt John Ryan Excelsior Mineral Water from Savannah, Union Glass Works. This bottle is never sold, ever. And we used to paint these a lot back years ago. I don't have time to do it anymore. It does take time to do that, you know, highlight them letters. But anyway, this is another iron panel, as you can see. I can't show it very well, but you can see the dark iron deposit in the bottom, which usually dates these sodas back before 1860. This is most likely from the mid 1850s, and blown in Philadelphia for John Ryan out of Savannah. Those are Ryans, come in many different varieties and colors. Wonderful collection. Russ Butler come out with a book on those. If you don't have it, it's just super interesting. See all the variations of John Ryan bottles. And this big yellow-green bottle, citron color, just a big carboy, like a demi-john bottle. Might have had wicker around it originally. It's got an applied lip. I don't believe it's Ponel. No, it's not Ponel, but it's a pretty bottle. Just a good window bottle, and probably from 1870s. This bottle is another, we call it puce color. I don't know if you can see that color or not. You can see my daughter Anita's van out there is red. It's a different color, you see, but it's Ponel. It's kind of like a Persian saddle flask, referred to as. It's got this real crude applied drip, big thick drip of glass around it, and a flared out lip. Just interesting looking bottles. I like those. A lot of different colors on those also. Real crude usually. This one we dug from the jug dump. On the bottom it says Carlsbad, and it's real pretty. It's got like whittled glass, as you can see. a little bit anyhow. But it's a real nice teal color, Carlsbad, and it was a medicinal mineral water. We dug that, I think, last year there at the jug dump. And I just put it in the window, and it's been sitting there ever since. This one, I just moved here from the other window. It's a Jackson's Aromatic Life Bitters. And that one, those bottles, Paul and I dug a couple of them in Quincy, Illinois. So my wonderment is if it's from Quincy. I looked it up, tried to find it out. Nobody seems to know where that bottle is from. But it's just embossed Jackson's Aromatic Life Bitters. But it's a pretty olive green color. This is one we dug also in the jug dump. Prescriptions carefully compounded. Use Dr. King's new discovery. Cures consumption, coughs, and colds. And it was a little porcelain door push or a little sign that hung out. You can see a little hole at the top and the bottom. It's probably in a drugstore someplace or a general store. We dug that in our little jug dump. That one's probably from 1890 since it has cures on it. That's probably before 1906. But one of the little signs we dug, I haven't cleaned it up. I was going to do a little more work on it. Just haven't gotten around to it. But anyway, let's come down here. We got three real pretty cobalt blue Harrison's Columbian ink bottles. And you'll also see a lot of ink bottles going around our house, as I've always enjoyed ink bottles. And then that one does have a big open bottle on the bottom of it. And that's a larger size of the Harrison's Columbian ink from 1850s, maybe even 1840s. They also come in aqua, even green. There's a smaller size one, Harrison's Columbian ink. And it's an open bottle one also. Lip's kind of bummed up on a little bit there, but still I decided to hang on to that one. Just a pretty bottle. I don't dig those very often. And although this one is unembossed, I like it because the lip looks a lot like the ones that are embossed. So to me, I just kept it as an ink, and look how whittled it is. It's a real pretty bottle, and it also has an open panel scar. Dug it from 1850s stuff, but anyhow, just like the whittlings, you can see that in the glass. And this bottle, did not dig this one. Got this one at a Norman Heckler auction, I believe it was, but it's a nice Coventry Double Eagle, it's called. And when you got the eagles like that, it's an early flask, blown probably 1820s or 30s at Coventry, Connecticut. Open bottle on the bottom. But the lip is really weird on this one. I'm just not sure if that's been put on there or whether it's original, but I liked it anyway. Thought, well, I'm not going to sell it because I don't want to misrepresent the bottle. But it's pretty cool, and I like it, so I set it in the window there. A nice olive amber color. Beautiful Coventry, Connecticut historical flask. Little plant there. Shelley's one of her little budding plants. This is a real pretty, just a little cologne bottle. Cable and star designs there. It's a smooth base one, but it's just a pretty bottle. We love the amethyst color. And this is a jug dug not too long back. Dug that at Goose Creek. Paul and I were on a little dig there. I think we showed it in a video. Pulled that one out. I just kind of thought it was cute. Set it up here. And we dug this one. Shelley pulled this out, just a knob to something. I don't know what. But we've got little doodads, odds and ends we set up here. Perfume ball there, a couple things that Shelley dug. She dug this inkwell also. I think it is embossed on it. But there's a story behind this one. Shelley and I were on a little adventure. We had a real cool little video going, and it showed these cobwebs, spider webs, all down through this little ravine where we were at. And it was a little town here in Illinois, and we're finding a little dump, and this bottle was actually sticking out of the bank of the creek, and Shelley found it. I believe it says Brinkerhoff's patent 1870 something on the bottom. So well, I was all excited about that. Well, anyhow, Shelley had the camera, and she was recording. I was going down through these cobwebs, and she was recording it, and a spider or something jumped on her, and she slipped and she fell in the creek and dropped the camera, and the camera fell into the creek and toasted our video. So that's why we have no video of that, because our camera was run. We had to get another one. So anyway, that's a little story on Shelley there. But here's a real pretty little amethyst color mini lamp. I don't know why these are sitting there. We just like the color, you know. Another little amethyst cologne bottle from 1880s, decorative. And these is some little doodah stuff, little sample rubifoam and some little things we've dug here. There's a cute little pipe, little elbow pipe there. I don't know what that is. Some of this stuff changes, rotates from time to time, but here's a Luke Beard bowling pin type bottle from Boston. It's kind of a green color, kind of pretty, like a little teal. This one's not ponnelled, but some of them are ponnelled. But it's just odd shape. Don't really collect sodas per se, but that was kind of a nice one. This is actually one of my favorite medicine bottles. If you ask me some of the favorite medicine bottles we dug, this is one of them. Sparks Perfect Health for kidney and liver diseases from Camden, New Jersey. And just a real nice bottle with that guy's face on there, and kind of a cool shape. You know, it's got the roof shoulders on it there. Nice old patent medicine bottle. They also come, the smaller ones are aqua, oval. I've dug several of them, but that's one of the only tall size amber ones I ever dug. It was just in perfect shape. I was really glad to get that. Hung on to that one. That was several years ago. This one I didn't dig. It's just real pretty. I like the color. Mrs. S.A. Allen's World's Hair Restorer. It says New York, but the bottom it says something London on it. I believe it's a British bottle. See that lip? They are American made ones in great colors too. I've got a whole color run of those, but they're scattered. We'll find them. We're going to have to go digging through boxes, so you'll have to come digging with us as Shelley and I go through some stuff here. We'll be experiencing a lot of cool finds, so we hope you stay tuned and let's dig through boxes. It's getting hot outside, but we can still dig through things. This is a pair of Cobalt James Ray ginger ale bottles from Savannah. This one has a little short neck on it. You can see a little stubby short neck, James Ray, Savannah, Georgia. And on the back says ginger ale. They're smooth base bottles from the 1880s. They're real cool little bottles. Cobalt blue. James Ray had some nice looking bottles. This one's different. It does say ginger ale on it, but the other side, you notice it's James Ray, just vertically embossed. But it's got a real long neck. So, isn't that neat? Just the different styles of ginger ale that he put out. Those guys from Savannah had a lot of different bottles and a lot of colors. Make a great collection. I'd love to dig more in Savannah, but man, I can't get anything there to dig anymore. Unless you live down there. Them guys live there, might get some stuff. This is a nice Drake's Plantation Bitters, 1860 Plantation X Bitters. But it's a nice color, and it's probably not going to show up very well, but it's like a raspberry puce color. It's got some raspberry in it, maybe amethyst, but it's just a real pretty bottle when it's backlit. Sometimes in the mornings, you know, when the sun's coming up, you can see it. You can see it kind of compared there to more amber bottles. It's real pretty. So that's why I like that one. It's a real nice bottle. This is, again, it's a Mishler's Herb Bitters, which is not particularly rare. The color on this one is real nice. Again, it's sort of it's got apricot in it. It's not a normal amber at all, but it's one of the older ones with the Stokel's patent on it, 1860s, and got the tablespoon measurements. Dr. S.B. Hartman and Company. I believe he was out of Columbus, Ohio. He was out in Pennsylvania, but most of the labels I've seen say Columbus, Ohio, so not that it really matters. And last in this group in the window, but not least, is one of my favorite bottles of all time, and it's just a little humble Pond's Bitters on the front, an unexcelled laxative on the back. But this bottle has a story. And in 1971, a little boy got off the school bus, went home, had his snack, did his chores. Dad gave him to do and feed the chickens and take care of a couple hogs. And then he went and got his little scratcher and went bottle digging. It was kind of rainy. It was a rainy day. And got down to his little place that he called the Gully Dump. And about a block from where he lived at. And he went down the little creek, hadn't really found much of anything, a couple little junkers. But then out of the creek bank, he noticed a little corner of a brown bottle sticking out, amber, square. And even back in those days, square ambers was like something to get you excited, because you knew it might be a bitters. So anyway, the little boy took his scratcher and scratched around, and this bottle come out, and he was extremely happy and ran up and showed his dad and his mom and called his buddies and told them about it. And so anyway, that was actually one of my first bitters that I ever dug. It was in 1971, and let's see, well boy, I guess I'm 63. I'm just turning 63 this week. So anyway, that was over 50 years ago that I dug that bottle. And that's not the end of the story. I didn't just have it. So when I was going to go off to Bible school in the 1980s, early 80s, I sold my whole collection to Tom Feltman of O'Fallon, Illinois. And this bottle was one of the ones that I sold. And I figured, well, it's gone. Tom sold it. It went away, never to be seen again. Well, last year, Shelley and I were at an auction down in Florida. And we bought a group of bottles down there. And lo and behold, in a box of stuff, I've noticed some bottles that had the lettering painted on them. And I thought, man, a couple of them looked real familiar. And I pulled this bottle out, and you can see the lettering was painted, and it's gone off. Somebody's rubbed the lettering off, but it was painted white, the way I used to do them back when I was a kid. So you can still see evidence of that where I painted the letters. But as I looked at this bottle, I thought, man, that can't be that Pond's Bitters that I dug so many years ago. And then I looked at this in the shoulder here. There's a little streak of dirt there. Well, it's just dirt, but I remember when I dug it, I thought it was a crack. And I thought for the longest time that, boy, it's a great bottle. I don't care if it is cracked in the shoulder. It's got a little crescent crack. And then as I finally looked at it, it's not cracked. It's just a piece of dirt. So that's how that stood out in my mind, that and them letters being painted. And I just, as soon as I picked that bottle up, I just knew it was the bottle that I had dug so many years ago, back in 1971. But so I got that one back from my collection, and that's where it'll probably stay. So it's not that great of a bottle. It's only about a $30 bottle to begin with, but boy, when you're 11 years old and it's your first bitters, that's quite a thrill. So that's the story behind that bottle. So there it sits. But all right, well, I'm gonna move on to some other things. But that's our kitchen window. Wanted to share it with you. We'll be sharing some other little places throughout the house here, and a couple of our cabinets, and we'll be digging into some boxes. So lots of stories, lots of bottles, and we hope you'll enjoy it. I don't hope nobody thinks that I'm just trying to show out and show some of our good stuff, but anyway, I'm just trying to answer the questions that people have asked, and we'll share this and we'll see where we go from there. So thanks for watching. Leave us your comments if you got any questions. We always like those. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.